This week is all about warm tones in Photoshop. Alright, so over in Photoshop, you guys can see on my right hand side, again, I've got already a group here ready. So basically this is my whole effect, the warm tone. Again, if I'm going to switch this off, you guys can see the before and after, before and after. So that's what's coming up, showing you guys how to get an epic warm tone in Photoshop. Great, so let's start right away with our first technique. So the first technique for me would be just desaturating this again and working a little bit just with the color tones. So I'm going to go to Adjustments, I'm going to go to Selective Color, and first of all it will be under Reds. Switch this to the neutral color tones. So under Natural, I'm going to go and work with the cyan a little bit. Let's take that down to like a -10 or so. Magentas +1. And then also yellows, I do want to push those quite a lot. So +11, +15, let's have a look. So sometimes what I do is take the sliders all the way up to the right hand side and then slowly take it down until I feel, yeah, that's kind of where I want to go with. Okay, so like a +10, +11 actually. And then the blacks, let's turn them down and flatten them like a -5 or so. Let's quickly have a look here, before and after, before and after. So a little bit of warmer tone already. Great, so for the next step, then I want to add a bit more of a warmer tone. So what I'll do is go to the new layer icon down here, have a new canvas, select my marking tool, select everything with the marking tool. So select the whole canvas, hit right click inside of that selection, go to fill, select color, and under color, I'm gonna pick now a nice orange. So let's actually go ahead and pick something here from his shirt. Yeah, it's a little bit too reddish. I'm going to move this a little bit up here in the sliders and all the way up. Somewhere over here, really punchy orange. You guys can also get the values down here if you want to duplicate this effect. Okay, then I'm going to hit OK as well. Nice and orange, great. So press Command D, get out of the selection. I'm working with the Mac, so I'm going to press Command D in order to get out. For all the Windows people, please press Control when I say Command. Now, I'm going to go to the blending options, move all the way down to color. Okay, and you guys can see it's way too strong. So the next step now is just to take it to like a 12%. Okay, 12, 10%. I normally start with 10% and then have a look again before and after, before and after. Great, so 12%, I'm going to write that also here. Okay, and now for the next step that I want to do is go back again to the selective color and choose again a new color. So I'm going to go back to Adjustments, Selective Color over here. And again in the neutral tones, always very important. I mostly work in the neutral tones for that. Now I'm going to go to, with cyan, push it down actually, like a -8, -7. Okay, -8 is good for me. Then magentas, I want to push those also down a little bit, -2. Let's have a look here, before and after. So in between I also go and look before and after. Kind of alright so far. Now for the next step is pushing yellow a little bit and the blacks too. So +3 or 4. I'm going to make this very subtle. +2 and another +2 here just for the black contrast. Before and after, before and after. So just pushing again those orange colors a little bit more. Now for the next step that I still want to do is add again a new color, a whole new color to this. So again, new layer icon down here. So a new layer. Marking tool, I'm going to press Command A, select everything. And inside of that selection, again, with the marking tool, you can also select everything. I guess you know about that already. I'm going to hit right click and say fill here once again. Please color, yes. And I'm going to pick here a very light color, so very light yellow for the sun. So to get it really in a warm color tone as well. Okay, something bright and vibrant over here. You guys can also get, again, the values down here if you want to just have a look over here. Okay, I'm going to hit OK on that. OK again, and you guys can see it's a super bright yellow. Press Command D, get out of the selection. And now we have the warm color tones, but I'm not this time going to change my blending options. I'm going to stick with normal, but just switch this to like 10%, just in order to get like a white kind of a flary effect on top of my whole image and a yellow grade. So 10 is nice, but I want to make this a bit stronger. So I'm going to go up to 20% and even a little bit further, 25, 26%. Okay, and going to keep it to 26. So it looks very, very bright and also a lot of yellow. So I think I'm going to add another adjustment layer just with levels right on top, actually with curves. So let's go to Adjustments, I'm gonna go to the curves adjustment layer over here. And right away, I'm gonna hold Alt on the keyboard. So hold Alt and go between the layers until you see the arrow and let that new adjustment layer of the curve clip to the current yellow layer. So click here, it clips. And right away, what I'm gonna do now is just push the brightness a little bit. Okay, so push it up and a bit more, yeah, somewhere over here. Great, so it kind of looks like an in-camera white flare-ish effect. Okay, and that looks all right so far. Now, I still want to push again a bit more the darks there. It looks too flat for me currently. Also remember, you can always now also create a mask on this. Use the brush with B and brush out certain areas that you don't want to be masked that much with that white or yellowish effect. Then you just should take down your opacity from the brush and brush it out a little bit. I don't want to do that right now. I want to show you the effect before I continue. So basically I'm going to hit right click again, say delete layer mask. We don't want a layer on that at all. We're going to continue here with our curves. On top of that, I'm going to first of all add some contrast now. So I'm going to go to adjustments, brightness and contrast, and first of all tweak my brightness slightly, maybe 1% still, 2%. And the contrast really up now, something like 15 to 20%. Okay, something 15. Yep, that's good enough for me. 15, yeah, gives it a nice, really good contrast there. And now I'm gonna go and tweak down the yellows a little bit so it looks a bit flattish and warm as well, because I just think the yellow's a little bit too much. So go back to adjustments, go back to hue and saturation adjustment layers, and now I'm gonna switch back under the masters. I'm only gonna go into the yellows. And now I'm gonna tweak them down like maybe -10, yeah, maybe 19, 20% even. -19, let's have a look, before and after, before and after. Obviously, if you want it a bit warmer, then take those sliders here up again a little bit. I'm gonna go with like -19 and happy with that. Last step that I'll still do is just add a bit more contrast and flatten that contrast. So let's go to adjustments, again, curves adjustment layer, and I'm just going to basically take the blacks up, like one little stop over here, quite flattened. Then as well an anchor point over here. Tweak that down a bit, and you guys can see it gets really dark and grungy. Okay, and take the midpoint slider here and push that up a little bit again. Okay, maybe a little bit more down, somewhere over here. It's obviously a bit different than the previous time. Okay, let's have a look, before and after, before and after. And maybe I'm even going to take the opacity slightly down if I don't want so much contrast on this. Okay, this is a bit tricky and will not look exactly 100% like my first one, but that's overall how I did my whole effect here. Okay, and it's again gone, so let's try that once more. Okay, great. I'm going to take all of these layers here, hold Shift on the keyboard, select all the layers that we did, press Command G, put that together in a group, and right here warm tone once again. Great, so there, let's have a look quickly what I did previously. So again, before and after, and now ours tutorial here, before and after. So it looks slightly a bit different, but goes into the same direction almost. But yeah, that's just one step of the tutorial that I would do. Now on top of that, most probably some sharpness just in the face, some more blurriness with Gaussian blur in the background, mask these out. Then also do another dodge and burn layer, and then an overall adjustment maybe with a flare plugin here called under filter called Red Giant Software. That's the software, and then the plugin is called Knoll Light Factory. It's very tricky to get that one, and also I think they discontinued it. But if you're lucky, maybe you can get it somewhere. So yeah, that's the only effect that I do on this, and then I'm good to go. Okay guys, that's basically it. Easy technique to replicate and to try this as well. Thanks again for watching guys. I'll catch you all in the next tutorial.